What's up, people? It is time for the intro. Are you ready? We are back with much technical difficulty.
As much
We
as
are
you can
here.
possibly have and still be on the air.
Yes, 17 minutes late. So, Scott, you see where to click the button up there?
Yep, I sure do.
Killer. All right, I'm going to take my guys out. I'm going to take off because I'm leaving. I wasn't going to be on the show today because I'm out of here in a few minutes. I have been invited to go see Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless, which I've never seen either. I only know a song or two. And so I'm going to go see them in a couple minutes. I'm waiting to be picked up. And these boys are going to do the show. Here's all the banners and everything, Scott. And the comments up there. Yeah, you got it. It's going to be weird because Scott's running it remotely, but you boys have a great show. Or I'll just stick around for the first few minutes till I'll leave. How about that?
Yeah, just do that.
I saw Hailstorm a couple months ago.
We'll do that. So we'll do the open real quick. We are back. It is episode 145 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob. With me, as always, is the great
Carcass John.
And the great, he's down there,
Scott Raging Waters.
We are all stressed and continuing to be new and improved with Harmless Rebel. Yes.
What's up, everybody?
These boys are going to take you through all things Japanese pressing. I will like to let everybody know really quickly before I get out of here. Look what came in the mail.
Nice.
It's that Blue Oyster Cult CD I was looking for.
Rob, before you go, turn your volume all the way down or off.
I'll take myself out.
Cool. I mean on your computer because it's delaying on me.
Oh, okay. Well,
but otherwise, we're good to go.
From complicating things, I'm just going to punch out. So you boys have a good show. Scott, just text me when you guys are done.
You got it. Later,
kids.
I want to punch you out. Anyway. Okay,
sorry, guys.
Well, that's an auspicious. I don't feel tardy, says JT, my brother-in-law. So yes, here we are on our own merits, and it sounds like we're going to need more.
Try not to burn the place down.
Try not to burn it down. Here's the keys to the Cadillac, boys. Don't scratch the paint.
Keys to the Cadillac and no driver's license.
Yes, I apologize for not being on last week. I was telling Rob, I was telling Scott that, in fact, one of my shout-outs, so we might as well get those out of the way, is to Lyric Froshon. He's acquainted. He's the son-in-law of Bruce Corbett, of the late Bruce Corbett, and he played in War Beast for a while. Is a super technical bass player. Loves the Les Claypool thing, Jaco Pastorius, and he's been in other bands like Deconstruct and Mr. Machine. He and his wife are going through some real medical issues, having a hard time. He had an emergency surgery, so shout out to him. And I got to go hang out with him, and it just so happened to coincide with the show. So you guys handled the Blue Oyster Cult talk way better than I would have, because I would have just said, go buy their new one. We're done here. But anyway, also I want to shout out Jonathan Hatley of Asylum. He's a local. They're a local band. Super technical death metal, and this thing is this Sharpen CD is brilliant. Lots of different elements of black metal, death metal, heavy jazz, atmospheric stuff. It's really crazy. He was kind enough to drop a poster and a shirt, stickers, and the CD buy. It's really outstanding. So support local music in all its forms, because even Slayer was a local band at one time. And finally, I got to catch an act here in town. These guys are similar. In fact, one of the guys was wearing an Aska t-shirt. A band called Siege Hammer. Just killer heavy metal. And look, the Norwegians are chiming in. You would love Siegehammer, so look them up, Baron von Headbanger and Nils Johan.
For you Norwegian fans.
Yeah, you'd love Siegehammer. They're good old heavy metal with a Nordic twist. And one of my favorite songs was Black Arrows. So anyway, shout out to them, and hopefully we can muddle through this show. What say ye, Scott?
I have no shout outs today. I'm ready to get into it whenever you guys are. So
okay. Oh, sorry, Malconstruct, not Deconstruct. And Lyric says thank you for the shout out. Sorry, Steph. Can spank me later. Well, that's not really a punishment, but we won't go there. All right, Steve-O, what you got, buddy? Anything?
You want to start with some records?
Let's yeah, that's what we're here for, right? I actually pulled some CDs too, but I think the deal was albums, so whatever.
I got some CDs too, so
yeah, we're unrehearsed and unedited and well, unpracticed for sure. Go ahead, fire away. Let's let our guests start first.
Well, since you brought up CDs, I'll start with a couple of CDs. I love the Japanese mini LPs, so I pulled out the. We'll ease our way into metal, I guess. I pulled out some Hendrix. I've got a little bit of a Hendrix collection here. They did a series a couple years ago where they did all of the Experience albums on mini LP. This is my favorite Jimi Hendrix album right there. And then, of course, Band of Gypsies.
Oh, yes.
And then some other Hendrix ones I have. I grabbed Smash Hits a couple years ago. Some older ones. These are from the late 80s, early 90s, if I remember correctly. But we got Hendrix in the West, Hendrix at Isle of Wight. I don't remember what this one was. The Hendrix concerts, okay? This is just a comp of live.
Yep.
And then it is a compilation of live, yep.
And then last time I mentioned the Target CDs, the CDs from 80, 83, and 84. I believe this one was 84. And I pulled out one of the Hendrix. This is The Kiss of the Sky. God. And you can see what the Target CDs actually look like with the little bullseye looking target on them. But this one was made in Japan for the U.S. market. So on the back it says U.S. and then on the CD itself, it's made in Japan. So that's the Hendrix collection there that I have on Japanese.
Well, since you brought up Hendrix, I broke out the Hendrix Japanese pressings on LP.
Nice.
And of course, Are You Experienced, the iconic first album. And this is actually a mono copy. And it actually sounds pretty killer. But then Nautilus, this is like a super Nautilus reissue, and with a different album cover, and it's in stereo.
Cool. I've never seen a Nautilus with an Obi on it.
Yeah, and this thing sounds incredible. Yeah, it's called a super import from Nautilus. And then the cool thing, as we discussed before about the Japanese pressings, is sometimes they release things that aren't available in America. Here's one of them, Jimi Hendrix, the Wild one. It's an old. It's got Hornet's Nest, not to be confused with the Power Trip version. Happy Birthday, Fool for You, Baby, No Business, Welcome Home. Just some really oddball things, but mostly vocal, instrumental. Some vocal, but mostly instrumental. It's super old. It's like from '66, but it's too cool not to have if you're a Hendrix fan. This is one of my favorite Hendrix Legacy. Once again, with a gigantic fluorescent pink OBI or OB strip. I'm sorry, don't smack me. But this is like a compilation. It's kind of like that live album with the what's his name? Neiman, the artist that does those. Used to do all the Olympic crazy artwork things. Leroy Neiman. And then here's the last one, the very best of Hendrix. But something you can't see in the United States. And I actually picked this up at Utrecht at the Megaplaten, which is the largest record event in the world. It's just outside of Amsterdam, about 40-minute train ride. But Hey Joe, Purple Haze, Wind Cries Mary, Burning of the Midnight Lamp, Crosstown Traffic, Foxy Lady, Stone Free, Voodoo Child, Gypsy Eyes, and Come On Part 1. So even a track that's not available in the States. So that's pretty cool.
The Japanese are good with the random comps that they put together.
Yeah, plus they find tracks that aren't normal, you know what I mean? They find stuff that we've never heard before, which is kind of cool. So thanks for starting us off on the right hoof with the Hendrix thing. What do you got, Scott?
Okay, sorry, I was.
Oh, you're technically.
While you guys were talking, I was trying to figure things out. Yeah, I'm still having issues on my end, trying to do the show with Rob. So Rob and I are going back and forth, but we're okay. I can actually hear you guys right now. It's just because I'm logged into his computer and running his computer and mine at the same time, so I'm getting like audio from both. It's like it's really crazy.
Yeah, don't get too deep into his computer. You never know what you might find.
Oh yeah, I'm not understanding.
Why?
So anyhow, I got a couple cool things I was going to show. I only pulled one CD, just one that I talked about last time we did the show, but I've forgotten about it. But this is the Stained, Sex and Joker single from X Japan.
Oh, cool!
And it's one of those,
It's a mini disc, isn't it?
It's a mini disc.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah, 3-inch.
Yeah, so, but it's just in an odd. I've never seen this. I wish I had another one because it's got a little crack in it, but what can you do?
I've got a
I've
Megadeth.
never seen.
I just thought about that. I have a Japanese Megadeth 3-inch somewhere.
Does it look like? Does it have this kind of weird?
No, it's got the smaller. It's like a little cardboard folding case.
Yeah, this is the only one I've ever seen. And then I was telling Carcass earlier when we were talking, I picked up a Cheap Trick, and I'm always looking for Cheap Trick stuff. But I have several different versions of this. This is the first time I've ever seen one in Japan, but it's a 10-inch Japanese EP. But as you can see, it's very oddly shaped.
Huh.
It is not square. It's
like rectangular almost.
Rectangular.
Is it the length of an album?
What's that?
Is it a 10 by 12?
Yeah, it's a 10 by 12 exactly. So but I mean, it's all made like that. It's not like an accident. I mean, it's got one of those odd OB strips, which I'll show you right here. So here it is. Here's the OB strip on the front, and then the back wraps around, and it's this gigantic thing. And then, of course, there's the front and the back of the record itself. You think they would put in like a sleeve or something that is that size, but no, it's just a little itty bitty sleeve, so it just sinks to the bottom. But this is the Found All Parts EP. I have a couple different versions of this. The US version came with a 7-inch single, so I have that. The Japanese pressing is the one that doesn't have the extra songs, which I think is kind of unusual. Usually it's the other way around, but it does have the extra stuff on the here. I don't know, just something cool, and it wasn't real expensive, so I grabbed it.
I don't know. Maybe they did it so that when you lay it on the side, it's the same length as it doesn't like slide into your collection, so you can't see it like 10 inches tend to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, because you can actually. There's the spine, and the spine is on the 12-inch side, so you can slide it into your 12-inch collection, I guess. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I just thought it was cool. I had no idea that's what it was going to look like when it showed up, but I dig it. But since I'm showing, I told him also this is another one. This is not a Japanese pressing, but this is one of my favorite Japanese albums. It's bootlegs, actually.
Oh, I got Scorpion. That bootleg too. Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This is like easily as good as the official live album from the same tour, '78. And it doesn't have
every comp I've bought from that company sounds amazing.
Yes, they are pretty stellar. Everything
is that a born late purchase when you were here?
No. I bought this online years ago.
Oh, I got you.
It's on Vernie, I think. Is that the name of the label?
Vernie. Yeah, Vernie. That label is so good.
Spectacular sound. I actually think I might like this better than Tokyo Tapes. For one reason, it doesn't have that silly rock and roll thing on it. And it has the Japanese national anthem on here. And as I recall, it's got I can't remember now. I don't have the other album in front of me. It's got Hellcat on it, which I don't think is on Tokyo Tapes.
I'd have to look. I have an extended copy of Tokyo Tapes somewhere.
Yeah, I have one of those too. This is one of my all-time favorite albums from one of my all-time favorite bands. So, it's just cool to have this recording, even though it's not Japanese. It is the only one I have that I pulled today that's not Japanese. So,
well, since you said something about live, I'm just gonna delve into the live thing.
Do I have any live?
One of my favorite Deep Purple records is Made in Japan. Well, here is the official Made in Japan version, and of course it's different. Yeah, you've got one too with that massive Obi strip, and I
just listened to it today, actually.
Maybe we can discuss the size of Obi strips, because they range in from well. And here's a perfect example. Here's Iron Maiden, Made in Japan live, tiny little Obi strip, but it's kind of cool because it fits into the logo here. And then of course, shockingly, Kiss has the largest Obi strip known to mankind. It's like covers half the record, as you can tell. And I don't know if you love the Ventures, but man, I really love the guitar, the twangy surf guitar sound. And
they were great.
You can pass on the Ventures live on stage in '76, and I don't know if these count, but you can't get these in the States. This is a Japanese Laserdisc, Judas Priest live. I think it might even be in Nashville. It's on the, I want to say it's on the Screaming for Vengeance tour.
I should have grabbed
anyway, very cool. And some of us freaks have a Laserdisc player. I have too, shockingly enough. And then here's another cool one, because we're here in Texas, and of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan is the guitar king of all time. But what a killer set. Speaking of Hendrix, got Voodoo Child on there.
Texas.
Yeah, Iron Jaw, Texas. Hey, that's an awfully cool graphic on that shirt too. I wonder who did it.
I don't know, but I heard the artist. I heard the artist is kind of a putz.
He is kind of a putz. Oh, and nobody asked me about my shirt. I should tell you that this is a band from Albuquerque called I checked them out.
Yes, I remember them. I've seen them live.
And the thing is their drummer quit like the night before they were supposed to leave. And so on their drive from Albuquerque to Dallas to play this show, they just listened to drum tracks that they had recorded. And so they thought, we'll just cue in the drum tracks and play a live set and hit all these 8 or 10 shows that they had laid out. So anyway, shout out to those dudes, because man, they tore it up. It was great, even without a drummer. But anyway,
I don't think this band needs a shout out.
Oh yeah, I just listened to what's the EP, the
Zap or
Jar
of Flies.
Oh, Jar of Flies. That's what I listened to. I was going to say Fly in the Ointment, but yeah, Jar of Flies. But anyway, so what else, Scott? I mean, I came loaded for bear this time. I came loaded for bear this time.
I actually pulled I've got tons and tons of 7-inch Japanese singles, so I pulled a bunch of those. I was going to pull my Aerosmith collection out, and it was like, we're going to do an Aerosmith show.
It's like an hour and a half by itself.
Yeah. So what I did instead was I pulled. Oh man, I'm getting an awful glare. There it goes. That better, yeah. So I pulled my Aerosmith Japanese pressings, and I'll just flip through them real quick if anybody wants to see them. Why is this glare so bad today? Jeez. Anyhow, Dream On, obviously. Toys in the Attic. Backed with Sweet Emotion. This is Last Child. Backed with, I think I've got every single one of them. A friend of mine gave me a Japanese pressing Aerosmith book. This guy named John gave me this really cool book. And I went through it, and I think I have every single one up and through mid-'80s. Back in the Saddle. Gosh, man, that glare's horrible. Sorry.
There you go. There you go. You had it right on.
Home Tonight.
There you go.
Back to Get the Lead Out, which should be the A-side, but anyhow, Draw the Line. Back with Bright Light Fright, which is an also great song. That was Joe Perry's attempt at doing punk rock. This one's a bit odd. There you go. You think this would be the Draw the Line single. It's got Walk This Way on one side, and what's on the other side? I think it's got Milk Cow Blues on the other side. So it doesn't have Draw the Line on here at all. Yeah, Dream On. Oh, Dream On and Walk This Way.
That's weird. That is weird.
With the Draw the Line cover, this is a 1978 single from Japan.
You know why? It's because in 1978, didn't they do one of the hits albums that year?
And they did a big tour of Japan that year too, I believe. So
because I have it from 77 or 78.
Actually,
I have a single with those two. When
yeah,
did Live come out?
78, Live Bootleg 78. Because this is actually a tour. This is a 77 Japan tour single, which is Walk This Way. Yeah, what's on the B-side? Walk This Way and
the B-side
Nobody's Fault. Nobody's Fault.
Okay, you beat me to it. Yeah.
Almost there. Ready? Come Together.
Oh, yeah, got that one too.
Come Together, back with Draw the Line.
See, all my 7-inch Japanese stuff is hanging on the wall, so I apologize for not joining the band because I've got all these. Too.
This is the Walking in the Sand, back with Bone to Bone. And then this one's probably one of the harder ones to find. This is Let the Music Do the Talking, back with Gypsy Boots. And then this is the last one I have. I don't have any more of the 80s singles after this. So I'm missing Angel, which is fairly common, but every time I see it, it's like $50. I'm not paying $50 for a single. So anyhow, Dude Looks Like a Lady.
You must not be a true fan, man.
Mariah. I must not, or I just don't have that kind of money to spend on singles.
I got one for Alvaro here. He keeps mentioning Kiss. So here's what is it, Shandy and She's So European.
Oh man,
that's cool. I have a few Kiss ones too. I didn't pull the Kiss ones.
Yeah, I've got 3 or 4 of them. I just happen to have this one on the desk right now.
I pulled some of the more oddball ones. I just thought I've got a ton of Deep Purple ones too I could have shown, but
this is another one I just got in. This is Come On Everybody and Timothy.
UFO. That's
yes, that's
dude.
a great
Look at
one.
that killer graphics.
Yeah, I love this one.
Where'd you pick up that one from?
I think I got it from Rockadrome.
Rockadrome, yeah, they had it on. I saw that on there. That's why I asked. I've gotten a few singles from Japanese singles from them, Scorpions ones. What's up, John?
You want to talk about Oddball? Here, how about this?
Oh yeah, that's Oddball.
Blood Incantation.
Is that their atmospheric album?
No, that's the next one after this one.
Okay.
No, this thing's heavy as an anvil landing on your head and then someone stepping on it. No, this is
heavy as a what?
Heavy as an anvil falling on your head and then someone stepping on it.
Would that be this band?
Yes, that's the atmospheric one, and then this got kind of a cool, groovy splatter. So it's very unusual, but it's so well marked. All this is silk screened, by the way. Even the cover is silk screened.
That's cool.
I still need to get that album. That's the only one I don't have.
This one, you don't have this one. I've got a dozen copies. I'll trade you for that U2.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Seriously. Oh, speaking of Anvil.
Speaking of Anvil.
Yep. So this is their first single. This is actually a single for School of.
I've actually got their debut. I've got their debut Japanese pressing too, but I don't have the Obi for it, so I didn't pull it out.
Hang on. Let me see if I pulled it. I may or may not have pulled it. Let's see here. Yep, I did.
No, that's not their debut.
No, I said this was their debut single in Japan.
Yeah.
Now this is their third album. But yeah, I knew I had some more Anvil in there.
But no Obi, so I didn't pull it.
Let's see. I guess someone needs to be Rob here and read some of the comments, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sort of reading the comments. You're good. I mean,
Alvaro, if you go back and watch the last Japanese video from a few weeks ago, I think I showed a couple of the Kiss mini LPs.
Yeah, they sound killer though too. By the way, you want to? Okay, since we're still on oddballs.
Fraser Dawn, I have no idea. I have a ridiculous amount of Aerosmith stuff in my collection. I mean, I probably have 10 different pressings of Aerosmith Draw the Line on vinyl alone. I think I have 2 different Japanese pressings with 2 different Obi strips on it. So
not just that, Dream On's been released on single. There's like 7 or 8 different Dream On singles just in the U.S., not including everywhere else. So I've got like 4 or 5 variations just of the U.S. Dream On.
Yeah, I've got a 77 pressing of Draw the Line. And I didn't pull either of those either. And then I have an 85 repressing of Draw the Line with a totally different Obi strip on it. So anyhow, yeah.
Well, you mentioned oddballs, so I'm going to stick to the oddball theme. And how about this?
Go for it.
How about the Chicago? It's called Golden Grand Prix 30. It's like their 30th anniversary album. but it's only available in Japan. But it has a ton of old songs. Does anybody really know what time it is? Beginnings, question 67, 68, Color My World, Lowdown, Free, Flight 602, In the Country. Pretty killer. I kind of paid too much for it, but okay. Oddball. This is a shout out. I dedicate this one to Aaron, my new friend from Rob's Billiards.
Never mind the Bullock's Japanese pressing. Right on.
Yeah, and it's really it sounds different, and it's got all these little weird stickers. I don't know if you can see like this. It's like a what do they call it when you go through customs? It's like a custom sticker of some sort, and I didn't want to take it off because it looked too cool. But it's a Toshiba pressing. It's not 180 gram. It's like a 150. But man, it sounds killer. It sounds way better than the American pressing or the British pressing or the German pressing or the UK pressing that I have. So once again, I think we had discussed the quality of the sound, and I just think they're better. They do something to them over there, and I know at one point in time nobody was really worried about getting sued by Warner Brothers or whatever. But
they use better vinyl. Number one, everything is done on virgin vinyl, which
I think by law they have to use virgin vinyl, not reused or remelted. But Toshiba EMI, this is a killer a pressing of that. So if you ever want to hear the Sex Pistols sound even better and not so raw, and here's Steve-O, here's one of your another one of your Nautilus super pressings, and this is an obscure Genesis record, but
I love that album.
Yeah, but notice how the Obi strip kind of blends in and everything kind of fits together. This is another one
when they do that.
Yeah, and this by far is, I think, sometimes overlooked, but Wind and Wuthering is really a killer. It is a true Genesis record in every sense of the word, and the fact that it's one of these Nautilus super imports is even better. It sounds unbelievably great.
Actually had a Nautilus test pressing of the Cars debut for a number of years.
You know, sonically, and not to get off the Japanese pressing beaten path, but man, that album had some real sonic brilliance to it. I remember listening to it when it first came out, and I was trying to kind of get back into the drum groove a little bit, and just the drum sound alone was very authentic, and all the instrumentation was killer. So I imagine the test pressing sounded even better.
Yeah, it sounded killer. I ended up gifting that to SMF Captain Howdy there, Scott.
Here, Scott, I know you're a Saxon dude. You got that?
Oh, hey, I got some Saxon right here.
I have that album, but not that version of the album.
Oh, yeah?
This is a cool one.
Yeah, it is.
So, well, here's the funny thing about this. So check out the center labels.
Melody something or other?
Yeah, it's called Melody Rock or something like that. So apparently it was
No, this is just a Carrere.
Melody Park. Oh, this is a Carrere. So what this was this is some sort of it was some sort of Japanese archive for a radio station, and they put all of their own labels on all of the records, and then a little number. And one of the local record stores here about 10 years ago got a whole collection. They've all got these stupid little, like, Menudo-looking stickers on them. I don't know what they are. Oops, I can't find right there. And then they've got these the category numbers.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds fantastic, and I paid $18 for it, but couldn't pass it up. And it was in mint condition. But, yeah, it was really weird that they put their own center labels on. The whole collection was like this.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Well, here, this is very strange too. For the same reason, have you seen a quad record released in Japan?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, here is one. The only reason I bought this one is because the killer for psychedelic art.
Yeah, I was about to say the artwork.
Yeah, and even the back has a really unusual graphic. But yeah, 4-channel OM sound, and it sounds phenomenal. It's big band stuff. It's got Count Basie and some other greats on there, Buddy Rich and what have you. It's
nice.
A double record, but it's it says Akira Ishikawa and the Count Buffalo Orchestra plays with all these other major players like Count Basie and Buddy Rich, but the 4-channel QM sound. And but I bought it for the cover and got bonus tracks in the music. So where do you ever do that? Well, I do that sometimes. I'll buy for the cover. And
Well,
the tracks if the tracks are great, then so be it.
I need to interrupt for 1 second and say something. Osric Tentacles. There you go.
Yay! Arsenal Tentacle. Hey, you know what? They unfortunately don't have any Japanese pressings, so I guess we don't have to talk about Osric Tentacles because, well, Osric Tentacles doesn't have any Japanese pressings.
I think Scott needs to make you an Obi for one of your albums.
I think he does too. I'm going to send him.
I got a couple more CDs here. Here's a good one for you. This is one I just picked up a couple months ago.
Well, that's cool.
I got
a whole pile of records to show yet. So
yeah, so do I. I'm just showing some of the CDs. You guys remember Black Widow?
Of course.
Dude, I have that on vinyl, and it is killer. I love that band.
Is fantastic. And then the Deep Purple self-titled, probably one of their least loved albums.
And it's still great.
Oh no, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Actually, speaking of Deep
Mach
Purple,
1, wasn't there a big hit on that one though? Which one was?
Hush.
Yeah, there's one song on here that I can't remember.
Was Hush on that one?
No, Hush is on there.
On the second one.
So what is what was the hit on there then? Sorry, I can't remember. We just did a 1969 video Trog and I did, and that was one of the albums that made the list. And we when I went to pull the album off my shelves, I realized I don't have it, so I got to find a copy now.
This one's Chasing Shadows, Blind, Lelena, Fault Line, Why Didn't Rosemary, The Bird Has Flown in April.
April was the single off the album, because I had the single.
Metal Mayhem 777, Metallica Japanese pressings with the Obi strip.
I would love to get a Metallica Japanese pressing, but the cheapest one I've seen recently is a couple $100.
You know, I had Ride the Lightning back in the day before I sold my whole collection in 1990.
I know where there's a copy right now of Master of Puppets, but I don't want to pay $200 for it.
Well, and you know that the Japanese version of Injustice for All actually has all the bass tracks.
I have never seen a copy of it.
Yep, I've seen it, never touched it, never listened to it, but But I know that the Walmart remasters actually have the bass tracks in them. Those green vinyl remasters that they have the exclusive on. So you don't have to go to Japan.
I don't know if it's true. From what I understand, though, the box sets. So I've bought all the box sets that they've come out. The mix in the box sets is the same as a Walmart, from what I understand.
Yes, that is correct.
So, but here's another one. This was a recent one. Machine Head. No Obi for this one. This is one of the made in Japan for the U.S. market. Same with one of my favorite AC/DCs with one of the later AC/DCs. Or no, earlier AC/DC. Sorry. Later with the earlier singer. How's that? Who made who? And this was I had heard AC/DC before this, obviously, but this was the first album that I bought from AC/DC. My dad took me to see Maximum Overdrive in the theaters when it came out in 85 or 86, whenever it was. And I loved it being a young kid. Now I go back and it's one of the dumbest movies ever. But the soundtrack just blew me away, and I played this nonstop for at least a good 2 years.
Well, speaking of go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say there's several soundtracks where the movie sucks, but the soundtrack's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was that one where that one Schwarzenegger played in where they had a killer, but it was a stupid movie, like Last Action Hero or something like that?
Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Speaking of soundtracks, how about these? Godzilla.
Oh, that's
we
cool.
can't talk about Japanese pressings without talking about a Godzilla movie, for crying out loud.
Where do you keep them, on a shelf or in your room?
No, I keep them right here on with the other Japanese pressings.
I meant to talk about that Zelda soundtrack that I have, the Japanese Zelda soundtrack, but I forgot.
Oh man, I've got Gundam, I've got Pot Labor, I've got
Zelda. It's all the games, and it's actually on a gold disc.
Yeah, here's the Pokemon digital soundtrack with a Pokemon card, still sealed. I've never opened it up because I'm afraid I'll kill the value.
Here's one for Scott right here.
Gary Moore.
Oh yeah.
After Hours. With a couple of, this one had 4 bonus tracks on it.
That's one of his blues albums.
Yeah, that's killer. Here,
You know, and all. Go ahead.
Speaking of great guitarists that probably nobody's heard of, how about Buckethead? This is a Japan exclusive. So hey, Lyric, here's what it looks like, buddy. We were talking about this last week when I visited him, but it's the American has a version. There is an American version of this, but it's only 1 CD, and this is 3, and it's in a killer package with a big fat Obi strip with, the little Buckethead guy sitting on there, and just a killer deal. So,
talk about one guy you can't collect his whole discography for. I think he's got like 150 different albums,
at least, if not more. He's tied in. In fact,
and that's not even in bands that he's been in. That's just his own stuff.
Here's another one from a Buckethead joint called Divination. This is Bill Laswell, Mick Harris from Napalm Death, and Jaw Wobble, a great bass player, and he's played in several of these renditions: Death Cube K, Chaos Face, Praxis. I mean, all these crazy projects. But I mean, I probably have 200 Bill Laswell joints, and they all include all these players that I just mentioned, and that's not even including the Buckethead stuff. And I've probably got 50 of his thousands. I mean, he releases something like every 6 months or some ridiculous amount. But in fact, we should get Lyric on, because he is like a Buckethead. He knows Buckethead like Scott knows Cheap Trick or Aerosmith, for crying out loud. So, but
I don't even think he should name his CDs. He should just put a big number across the front of it.
Right. And this is number 250. No, this is number 386.
Collecting him is like collecting Grateful Dead live shows.
Right.
So,
exactly.
This is now our second Japanese episode. Has anybody shown this band yet? Maybe you have. I can't remember.
Oh,
I did.
Funny you mention it.
Yeah, I thought that was too cool for school, and
I sent you that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Because here's the U.S. pressing, which is actually different than the.
Different graphic on the Thunder in the East part.
Well, this one.
Yeah,
there's also one where the American is different.
Yep, very that's totally different. Yeah.
Man, I love Loudness, and they got a little weird, but don't they have like 25 albums or 20 albums?
They have a lot. They're still putting
a lot more than 25. Yeah, they've got a lot of albums.
I have a couple of SHM CDs of recent albums too, and this is one of my favorites. Disillusion.
I actually have that, and that is really, really good.
And talk about some great artwork. That one's fantastic.
Yeah, that's Rosetta.
Is that Disillusion sung in Japanese?
What's that?
Is that Disillusion the one that's sung in Japanese?
Yeah, this is the Japanese one. The US one has a different cover on it.
Yeah, and it has
or the English language one. Sorry.
English lyrics. Yep.
I didn't even know that there was an English version until what's his name in California?
Yep, him.
You know who I'm talking about. The Iron Maiden freak. Loves Iron Maiden. Lazarus.
Oh, Laz, yeah.
Lazarus, I was talking to him about Loudness, and he showed me that one, and I didn't know that an English language version existed. But yeah, they had an American singer for a number of years, about 10 years there, too.
Yeah, Mike Facera. Killer stuff, too, because he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
He was in Killing Machine and some other bands.
Just kind of lost that, I don't know, with an American singer and a Japanese band, it just kind of lost something. I still liked it. It just doesn't sound like Loudness. It sounds more like an American band. So
there's been a few Japanese bands that have done that, brought in American singers, and I don't. Yeah, it's not the same. This is one I bought these. I mean, I knew the band, but I didn't know these albums. I bought them just because they were Japanese for $5. But man, these are both great albums. So this is a self-titled, I believe, from Humble Pie.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then Thunderbox.
That's a killer record. I noticed they blacked out the keyhole.
Yeah.
Or did you do that?
No, that's the way it comes.
Okay.
Which is funny because the Japanese aren't real prudish like the Americans are.
No, not at all.
All right,
Is
ready?
that
Here
the
we go.
picture you were looking for?
Yeah.
New
Okay,
wave of
that
British
one?
heavy.
Frazier says that Buckethead has over 300 albums.
Yeah,
That's
there
crazy.
you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Good for him.
Yeah. Lion?
Lion, Doug Aldrich's band.
That one.
Oh, that's right.
This is Doug Aldrich's old band. They have 3 albums out, but this is their first album. And it's odd. This is the only Japanese pressing that I own or actually have ever seen that actually has a little bit of ringware on it. I've never seen a Japanese pressing
probably
with
from the
ringware.
American that owned it before you, not from the Japanese.
Probably, but I have another buddy who has this same record and it has the same thing with the same ringware on it. So it's just unusual. But anyhow, yeah, there's a picture of a very young Doug Aldrich in the background. Also, Mark Edwards was on drums. Wasn't Mark Edwards the drummer for Steeler? I think he was. Not the obviously the U.S. Steeler.
I have never owned a copy of Steeler before.
Really? With Yngwie?
I had a ripped. I had a dubbed cassette back in the '80s, but I've never actually owned a copy of that on any format. Here's another one that I just picked up not too long ago.
Oh, that's an awesome one. That's a great album.
And these are, I got these for all these that I just showed. None of them have OBs, but I got these for like $5. This is a humble pie for like $5 a piece.
There you go. Some Grand Funk, the best of Grand Funk.
Yeah,
I love it. I told you, I love the Japanese comps. Here's a great Japanese comp. It's actually called.
Oh, that's a nice one. I'm jealous. That's
got
awesome.
a reaction.
I wish I had the Obi for this one, but now it's funny. When I saw it, I didn't know it was just. I didn't read that it was just Thin Lizzy. I saw the Japanese comp and flipped the back, and I saw. I just saw it real quick. It was $15, and I didn't realize that it was just Thin Lizzy on here.
That's cool. That's a good price for that.
But yeah, phenomenal.
Here's another kind of
album too.
Another kind of obscure one.
Oh, that's very cool.
Diamond Rex. Good grief, that is obscure.
Yeah.
I got a couple more in front of me that aren't.
Okay, we're gonna trade obscurities. How about Lonesome
Oh, that's
Crow?
cool.
And that's the
That's
debut,
an awesome one.
or is it a comp?
No, it's Lonesome Crow.
Lonesome Crow.
Okay, I love Lonesome Crow.
How many versions do you have of it? Because I've been lambasted.
So
'Cause
I
I've got
have a
18.
German brain version. I have a comp that is
Steve,
that one.
give it up because he's got like 30.
No, I know he's got more than me. I'm just saying I've got like 4 different versions of it.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I think
record too.
I have 3 or 4 versions.
Yeah,
Now,
Neil.
here's a good one for you, Scott, because
Neil,
had
out.
never-
Neil says Mark Edwards was in Steeler. Also,
Okay, there you
I thought so.
under his real name was Mark Schwartz.
I thought so. Yep. Yeah,
So
what you got there, Steve?
this one's going to shock you. I had never heard this album until about 5 years ago, just because I wasn't a huge fan of their 80s output. And I can't believe I didn't, because this is one of my favorites from them.
That's a heavy album.
Yeah. But
That's cool.
I wasn't a big fan of Chinatown or Black Rose. I preferred their 70s stuff. So whenever I saw this, I just never bought it. And once I finally bought it, I was blown away by how good this was. And this is probably the most listened to Thin Lizzy I have now.
That was Thin Lizzy melding into the new wave of British heavy metal sound. With obviously they had a new guitar player who was part of the new wave of British heavy metal movement. So
Yeah, it was just so heavy. I mean,
speaking of new wave of British heavy metal, the next one I have is actually a new wave of British heavy metal. Well, maybe no. I love this band. A lot of people hate them.
I love Girl School.
And then
Actually,
there you go. And then I got this one too. I picked these up in California at Rhino Records for like, I don't know. I think they were $12 or $15 each. So I just snatched them both up. Apparently they got this huge shipment of Japanese pressings in, and by the time I got there and I went with my buddy Bill, there was hardly any left. They said these ones had been sitting there forever and nobody wanted them. Both of them have this little red sticker on the top, which I assume it means demo.
hang on, let me look. Yeah, those are promo copies.
So yeah, both of them have the same sticker. See?
Okay, well, what if they have that sticker on them? What does that mean?
I'm not sure what that one is.
This little gizmo right here. But
Yeah, I can't.
yeah, one of my favorite Iron Maidens, of course. And even though the OBI doesn't match, I mean, it's not the same color, but look at the Iron Maiden. It blends right into the.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Here's a couple more girl schools for you, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, I have that one too. I should have pulled it. Dope. I also have the Gillen one.
I bought all these together for like $10 a piece.
Wow.
With $10 shipping from Japan. This was years ago.
Did you get the Gillen one too?
Hit and Run.
Oh, that's a great record.
That's still their best. I mean, it just
Yeah.
is.
And Demolition.
Yep, that's
a good one too.
That's pretty close to being number one. And their early singles too. All those singles they did were fantastic.
And this was just right next to it, so I grabbed it too. A little bit of Girl.
Yep.
Sheer Greed. A great album.
UK pop rock, pop metal, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Girl, how about the prettiest album OBI that you can get together? This is one of my favorite graphically, but it's also one of my favorite records of all time.
I was just telling somebody that I never considered that my favorite album, but the last couple of years that has definitely become my favorite. Judas Priest.
But look how clean the transition is. I mean, it looks like the Obi strip is just like a transparent thing with lettering over it, and so yeah, one of my favorite graphically. And
Fraser Dawn said, "What about White Spirit?" I love White Spirit. I don't know if they have any Japanese pressings or not, but I don't have any anyhow. Did you
get their other album yet, or do you still just have the one?
I only have the one, and I bid on their first single from I think it's 79 or 78, whenever it came out, on eBay the other day, and I dropped off when it got to $60.
Yeah.
See, the Obi strip doesn't always have to go up and down.
No, sometimes it's across the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
that. Next one I'm going to show goes across the top too, but keep going.
Oh well, no, I just had that one, and then I had a Doobie Brothers that had that goofy little sticker on it that says sample. Yeah. So when it says sample, is that like a radio play copy, or is that
it's a white label. That's their version of a white label.
It's their version of it. Yeah, I've seen those before.
If it actually, so they have the same thing. They have like their version of the gold stamp promo, which just has a sticker on the jacket.
Right.
But then if it actually has it printed on the record label itself, that would be their version of a white label promo.
I gotcha. I really, once again, that idea of compilations. My uncle used to work for Denon, and he would bring these things home.
Oh, a test record?
Yeah, they're like a test master pressing, and it's got everything from the Beatles to Japanese 3-piece jazz to orchestra, and it's just basically to test your system out and to test different cartridges. And they have different songs for different types of cartridges. It's super, super highly technical.
You guys ever seen that? Sorry.
I was going to say, how about this, Scott?
Oh, nice. Aska. That's beautiful. I don't have that one. Did you guys ever seen back when CDs were first coming out, CD players and whatnot? The Japanese came up with this almost like a CD player for vinyl, where it was a laser reading into the vinyl.
Yeah.
It never took off.
It's got the whole cartridge or the whole drawer that comes out.
Yep. Man, I wish that would have taken off. It just didn't. It didn't. Not outside of Japan.
I don't think it was. From what I understand from my uncle, it wasn't very cost effective. They couldn't get it cheap enough for people to actually buy. And I know, Steve, you had talked about some of these high end shops that had basically a close and play next to a $20,000 turntable.
Oh yeah.
They just couldn't find a market for it. So I don't know, but I kind of like the idea of nothing touching the record and having it kind of last forever.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I realized I heard that too.
I think I read or I saw that there were issues with them though, that if they got anything on them, like even a little bit of dirt, it would cause problems with the laser.
Oh, interesting.
Which is hard to keep off of a record,
Well, yeah. My next and last batch of 12-inch records, whenever you guys are ready, are all stuff I gotten in recently. They're all like new releases. I haven't even showed them in a video yet.
Well, I'll show you a couple and then let you close out if you don't mind. I pulled one of my favorite albums of all time.
Oh, nice.
Boston, the self-titled, and then Don't Look Back.
Those two albums are great.
And then I just had to hit the trifecta and get that one. So that's kind of a cool part of my collection. I like the Boston thing. Man, I love Frank Zappa, and just the graphic on this is so killer. imagine that the name of it, the title of the album is "A Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch." That's so funny to me, and every time I see this cover, it just makes me laugh. But with the famous hit "Valley Girl" that sort of put Zappa on the map, although he'd been recording for
Probably been around for 25 years.
Yeah, he'd been around for a million years, and it was world famous and recorded tons of artists. I love Tangerine Dream and all the Japanese pressings that I have with this very cool fluorescent green obi strip. Sound even better on the Japanese pressing, and like we need to talk about Godzilla when we talk about Japanese pressings. How about the New Japan soundtrack? I mean, this is phenomenal stuff. It's really
Is
not
that the pro wrestling soundtrack?
Yeah, it's the pro wrestling soundtrack and the New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Fighter themes. And
is it just a theme, or is it the wrestlers singing like they did here in the U.S.?
No. It's just their walkout music. You gotta have that. And then one of my, I think that this is. I was telling somebody the other day that this is the ultimate jazz fusion record, bar none. Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow, and I have several different versions with obies that are just, yeah. You flashed that in front of me, and I got all giddy about it. So, but anyway, that's pretty much what I have. So, close us out, you guys.
Yeah,
I'm just a passenger on this bus now.
I did snag this one really cheap online. I think it was $15.
Was that from the guy that's doing the singles?
No, a different guy I found online. I'll send you his. I'll send you the
Jeff Beck too. That
he's got a bunch of Jeff Beck. Yeah, me too. I've been staying away from it. But this was a good deal, but it was kind of one that ticked me off. I told John about it, but this is one of the greatest live albums of all time.
Agreed.
Yep.
Ooh,
so
nice.
This one here, he had two albums for sale. It was this one and this. Whoops, wrong one.
Oh, nice.
And this one. So these two UFO albums, and I bid $20 or $25 something like that for both of them. Nobody else bid, and I won. And the shipping was $8. So I paid for it, done. I get an email from this guy in Japan saying $8 is for domestic Japan shipping only. I'm like, you're on ebay.com, not ebay.jp. Yeah, but we can't afford to ship for $8. Well, then you need to be honest in your things and put how much shipping, because now you want $30 for shipping.
Yeah, he's ripping you off though. They have discount shipping in Japan, kind of like we do locally here, where they can ship for it's like $18 US, and it'll be here in like 3 days.
Not right now, though. Unfortunately, he said that.
No, I just ordered something from Japan like a week ago, and it's already here.
The Dutch have the same thing from Amsterdam. It's like $17.
Yeah, this one here. These two were here in 2 days. I mean, I paid for it, and they were here like it was a weekend, and then like Monday or Tuesday it came. It was here. So, but I mean, I can't complain. Even with the extra shipping, it was still $50 for both. I mean, this thing sells for $50 by itself usually.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, this isn't a very weird album from UFO though. It's very much like.
I like that album.
I do too. It's just very different. I mean, you think UFO, you think heavy guitars and that kind of thing. This is more keyboard laced. It's more AOR-ish. It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of I mean, it's like Ted Nugent's Penetrator. You just kind of wonder if the aliens had taken over and destroyed the guitar players. So, but like I said, I still like it. And Phil Moggs are one of the most recognizable.
I just realized that the cover's completely different too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's several different covers for this one.
I've never seen it with the white all the way around it.
I've got another pressing of this with that same. I think I got 4 pressings of this now. So, but let me just finish off with these 12 inches. Then, if we got time, I'll show a few more 7 inches. But almost dropped it.
Album.
I do too. Now this is a live album, and it's really wanky. It includes all because it's called the solos. So every song on here has got ridiculous solos. You've got Hold On, obviously, which was a hit for them, but it's got a lot of tracks that weren't on albums, like Sigh, which is just this crazy keyboard solo from Tony Kaye. Solly's Beer, which was Trevor Rabin going nuts on guitar. It's got Soon, which is John Anderson's solo live. It's got Changes and Amazing Grace, which is Chris Squire's bass solo, which is fantastic. And he actually does play part of the solo is the Amazing Grace song. That's how the song starts off. And then it ends up with the Chris Squire, Alan White solos in Whitefish. So it's a pretty cool. I've had the American pressing forever, but I found this one cheap and it's in really good shape and it's got the silver metallic ink and everything. So it was worth it.
That was a follow-up. That was a follow-up to what's the one with Owner of a Lonely Hearts on it?
OU
90210
or 90210 or something.
Yeah, 90210. This is called 90210 Live. And then finally, this is the other live. And I can't remember if I showed this one last week or not, but it's a recent pickup as well. Robin Trower Live. So that's all the 12-inch I pulled, but I do have a few 7-inches I can show.
We're going to go for 12 inches, and then I'll let you go.
Go for it.
So this one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Just do not get enough love for. I mean,
No,
without this band, you don't have Motley Crue, and there's
those
about
guys.
5 other bands.
I just think they gave up too early.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't know if they gave up or if the label gave up.
No, that's
well. I mean, even if they disbanded and they went into other bands.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Angel did the same thing. I think if Angel would have stuck around a little bit longer, they would have gotten through that early 80s where all the disco was in heavy metal was in the background. They could have gone heavier. They would have been I can't think of a better word to say than they would have been gods.
This is another
That's
cool one.
Is that Mach 3?
This is 2, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Mach 2.
Yeah.
I can't tell. I got a little teeny picture this big, so
all the Japanese ones actually say it on there. It actually, if I can get my finger in the right there, it says Mark 2.
Yeah.
Right on.
And then one of my all-time favorite albums.
Oh, nice.
I
Ziggy
just bought this
played
one not too long
guitar.
ago.
Okay, as Angels Vinyl World asks about any Van Halen Japanese pressings, I have 5150, and the first I have the 1, 2, Fair Warning, Women and Children, 1984. Should I go grab them?
I don't have any 12 inches. I have a bunch of singles in one of the boxes over there.
You can if you want. I'll show.
I was going to pull the Van Halens, and I thought, no, certainly you guys are going to show those. So
I don't have any Japanese Van Halen, so.
Oh, come on! Then I have to go get them. Hey,
yeah, I'll show these. I'll show these 7. I'll show the 7 inches while you're going.
Real quick, I wanted to show you this before. I got my #1 Grell in yesterday. This is
right on. Go ahead.
From Japan.
Oh wow!
And this isn't a bootleg. This is an original. I've been looking for this forever. Unfortunately, it's not as good. The vinyl's mint. I don't know if you can see it. It's all. Yeah, it's not split, but it's all crushed. But it was supposed to be near mint, other than some sticker residue. But man, I've been looking for this. This is the only Judas Priest on vinyl I didn't have. And
I still need that
copy
one.
Of it.
The vinyl. That's cool.
Ooh.
And in the same package.
Oh, nice. I do have that one.
And then one more. Where did it go? Go ahead. I can't find it.
She gone.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, nice. The Flatzilla EP.
All right. I'm done.
Okay. Van Halen 1. Yay. Van Halen 2. I love Van Halen 1, but Van Halen 2 is pretty dang good.
Those first 4 albums are all great.
Women and Children even has the poster. Fair Warning, brutal, heavy record.
And then they go downhill from there, in my opinion.
1984, not the greatest, but not the worst.
Probably my least favorite. I dislike that more than the Gary Sharon album.
Do you really?
I think
I
like Diver Down.
Diver Down was an EP. That's all there is to it. They released it as an album, but it's one third actual Van Halen songs, 1/3 cover songs, and then 1/3 fluff. And the whole thing is like 28 minutes long.
Right.
Actually, I'm not going to pull it. I have the mini LPs of all those too.
By the way, I picked this up at Utrecht also. So I picked up a Japanese pressing in Amsterdam, or basically in the Netherlands. So, yeah. I thought for sure somebody would show Van Halen. So Angels.
Yeah, I don't have any Van Halen.
Vinyl World, here you go.
But I pulled a few more 7-inch ones that are a little more obscure. Early Mama's Boys. Japanese pressing.
Very cool.
Oh, dude, that is.
I didn't know they had any Japanese pressings.
Late Mama's Boys Japanese pressings. So this is mid 80s, 85 or so, 86 in that area. Canadian band that really nobody knows outside of Canada, but they were huge there and they play them on the radio all the time. Headpins, Japanese pressing.
Wow. Doesn't that have a female singer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's very much in the vein of Heart. You know, that's hard rock.
Remind me of Toronto.
Yeah, or Toronto. Yep. And speaking of Heart, the 70s Japanese pressing from Heart.
That's really cool.
There you go.
What songs is it?
Barracuda, and the B side is Cry to Me.
Nice.
Oh, good song.
And then I do have a few more, but I just pulled one of the older ones, Cheap Trick. I'm always looking for Cheap Trick stuff. So this is I can't remember the name, which songs are on here now, though.
Oh, somebody's asking for Ian Gillan.
Clock Strikes 10. I do have Ian Gillan, but I didn't pull it. Sorry.
We could go on all day, guys.
Yeah.
And
We're
then-
already over
that's
under
cool.
time.
That's right.
Oh, man, that's
Yeah, Ted Nugent. This is the only 7-inch Japan single I have from Nugent. I don't have a lot of Japan 7-inch singles.
I would love
7
to
is
find
out.
that.
I don't have a lot of Ted Nugent Japan. Period. I got like 2 12-inch and that one 7-inch. And I
I've
just
got
can't
his
find
first
them.
album and his second album on Japanese pressing.
Yeah, Double Live Gonzo is one of my grails. Japan finds. I'll get it one of these days. So, yeah, that's. Oh, let me show you one more thing. Not Japan. I just thought this was cool. I'd never seen one before.
Oh,
I
I've
just
got
this from
that.
Mel. Isn't that weird? It's huge. That's just the center label. It's
No,
gigantic.
that's what that girl school is.
Yeah, and I do.
So
I have
this-
the.
Obviously,
That's
it's
the
a
center
single.
label.
Yeah, but this thing's even bigger than that one because I have the Gillen one in that series as well as the girl school one. This thing's gigantic. The whole is.
But I have that. I think SMF Captain Howdy sent that to me, but I have a copy of that.
Yeah, this I can't remember. I got this online, fairly inexpensive, but
Oh, wow, it's even clear. That's cool.
yeah, a little odd. But in any
Ooh, we
case,
should have colored vinyl talk next time.
we could do
Oh
that.
my God. Hundreds of
Be here
videos.
for 3 days.
So before we go and do our exit thing, I wanted to say a couple things real quick. First of all, here's the Japanese pressing of one of Jeff Loomis's solo albums. This is Zero Order Phase. Keep an eye out. These are all coming out on vinyl for the first time ever and remastered gold discs. So, and then as well, I'm letting you guys know, nobody else knows it's only I do, but this Thursday evening, the Nevermore gold discs, the Gold Max discs with the little collector's cards and everything, those are going on sale. Let me tell you one thing though, this is kind of an insider thing and hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying it, but the label that puts those out, Brutal Planet Records, just got picked up by the biggest distributor in the world, basically. So those Nevermore albums are going to disappear now because they're going to be picked up by all these different stores and mail order places. So just a word to the wise, if you're interested in picking those up from Boone's Overstock, which is the label store, you need to get them fairly quickly. Also, the price is cheaper when you get them right away. So I just wanted to let everyone know. What's that?
That's the first 3 Nevermores.
The 4 that they hadn't done yet. So it's Nevermore. It's Nevermore, the second album. Yeah, there's Nevermore. Help me out here. The Obsidian Conspiracy, Dead Heart in a Dead World, and I'm missing. What's the second album called? The one with the baby on the front of it.
I get pictured too. That's one I always see on vinyl.
I just worked on that one. Anyhow, brain
man.
fart. Whatever. Anyhow, and here's the deal. All of them have the extra bonus tracks from either the Japanese pressings or other stuff that we didn't even know existed. So, yeah, I'm pretty pumped about those coming out.
Oh, here's another Japanese one.
Oh, that's nice. Rory Gallagher.
Rory Gallagher BBC sessions. I love Rory Gallagher.
And Rory Gallagher's band before Rory Gallagher was
Taste. I've got those too. I've got a really nice original pressing of the debut that I found for like $12 at a antique mall.
nice. Well, right on. So we, I guess we're done for now. We kind of ignored you guys who are watching, but appreciate you all watching. And yes, Nels, I do have. I do have gills. I do have Japanese Gillen pressings. I didn't think to pull those. So, but that as you guys were showing things, there was a bunch of them. I was thinking, oh, I could have pulled that. Oh, I could have pulled that. I even have a creator. What are the big Laserdiscs live album on Japanese pressing that I could have pulled, but didn't think about it. But anyhow, I'm glad we got to do part 2 because part 1 we kind of like left off and we were like, I still got a pile of crap here.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
got
just kind of
forever. Well,
it's just kind of fun.
We could do a part 3, but
Yeah.
I would just say I'm going to set up my camera out in the rock and roll pool hall where all the Japanese pressings are, and
I saw that. I saw that pool hall. Matter of fact, I played pool there.
yes, you did. We did it.
Yeah, I was about to grab. I have a whole 3 shelves up there with just mini LPs. I just pulled out the hard rock and metal for the most part, but I've got a whole bunch of non-metal stuff too. So,
well, right on. So anyhow, I appreciate everybody who's watching us, and that's it. So we have a way here of exiting, right? Carcass
exiting stage left.
So go ahead and get us going on that.
All right. We all know that metal
will
prevail.
By the way, we do have an exit button, but yeah, we just
keep talking
you guys just need to keep talking because I have to actually,
Final World Part 3. Who knows? Coming up.
While we were chatting, I got logged out of his computer. So I got to log back in real quick. So we're gonna have to just be here and be awkward for a little while.
We're just gonna awkwardly talk because
while we're awkwardly talking, I finally got around to listening to this. Have you checked this out, John? Applehead. I had never even heard of it.
No.
Man,
that Applehead's so good. Show it.
Oh, I was blown away by how good it is. I've played it like 6 times.
Applehead is fantastic. It's the name of the album is
punk metal. It's kind of in the King's X vein.
No,
I really
not quite
dug
that. It's kind of, it doesn't have the same vocal harmonies and stuff like that when you think of King's X.
No, I'm just saying the kind of funk hard rock sound,
Yeah, a bit of groove. Here it is. I knew I had it right by me.
Really good.
On vinyl?
Yeah, it's on vinyl.
Meaning.
Only
over here too.
There's only 100 vinyls pressed. Vinyls. I said vinyls.
You did. Oh my gosh, you're revoking your vinyl card.
All right, you guys keep chatting, and I'm gonna figure out how to get us out of here in a second here. Unfortunately while we were chatting, I noticed Rob's computer logged out. And I'm like, gummit, but oh well, we'll just be awkward. We're not professionals anyhow, right?
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. So let me go through my blood incantation collection, Steve, and I'll see. Do you have a preference on color? Black, white,
nope.
Clear, splattered, purple, green?
Nope. Whichever one sounds best.
Okay. Well, they all sound great because they're a great band. But
I was, I was really late to them and the other one, and I turned Scott onto these guys. I actually pulled this aside for you. Rivers of Nile. Have you heard them yet?
Oh yeah.
If you're asking me, I'm not paying attention. Sorry.
That's fine. No, it was one like 2 years ago. Everybody told me how great it was and how much I would love it, and I was like, whatever. I'm not into modern death metal, And then grabbed it, and man, they're not this album. The album before this is one of the best albums of the last few years.
Yep. Well, I'm into death metal, so
I am too.
You can bounce something off of me if you'd like, but
I just prefer old school death metal. So I like a lot of the newer bands that are going back to that older sound.
Dude, we could do an episode on even just in Texas with Creeping Death and Cathexis and Asylum and Frozen Soul. They're like an up and comer, and Combat with a K, Caustic from Oklahoma City, not too far from
here. I know Caustic.
Man, they are. There's a lot of heavy hitters, lots of brutality, and I see the guy behind the camera doing this. And TV talk, that means just keep talking till we figure it out.
Stretch it out.
Anyway.
Well, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. We're just going to be awkward and unprofessional as always, because now it's giving me an error message saying it can't log into this computer.
Well, can you just hit eject? Isn't there a big red flashing button and you pull the hood over your face? And
yeah, I'm not logged into his computer anymore. So otherwise, yes, that's what I would do. But yeah.
Okay, well, goodbye, everybody. I guess I'll just.
Yeah, if
Punch
we just
out.
all log out, it's just going to continue to go live and blank. So it'll just have our little background there. I don't know what else to do if I can't log in this
Warning,
computer.
Will Robinson. Warning, warning.
Next week we'll be back and we'll have a producer. We had no one to run us this week, so yeah.
So guess what, Dad? We scratched the car and I lost the keys and the remote for the garage door. What do? We're stranded at the not at the bar, we're stranded at the movie theater.
And the front bumper is sitting out in the front lawn.
That's right.
Right on. Well, I guess we'll just all log out and be done with
All
it.
right. Thanks for listening, guys and
Yep.
gals
Laters.
and everybody else.
All right, bye.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Later.